do you know that Noam Chomsky, he did an online talk, right? With some Pakistani college or university, and they asked him at the end, what Pakistan needs to do, and he said something like, I'm going to find the exact quote, but he said that.
Pakistan used to. I'm paraphrasing. He said Pakistan used to produce world-class scientists and all that, and I think he butted them up a bit. But and he said, well, now Pakistan unfortunately is going back, so Pakistan needs to invest more into education, scientific education, and everything. But it's so funny that.
But he specifically talked about the religious aspect of it. That, if it clings on to its religious fundamentalism, it's not going to get there. Something like that. I'm going to find the quote while you talk. But
So, but it's quite interesting that Noam Chomsky is like, he's so adored, and like every Pakistani intellectual loves to bring him up. Why? Because he criticizes U.S. foreign policy. And now all of a sudden on social media, people were like cursing and like, who the hell is this guy? It's so funny to observe people's biases, I see that with all these Hindu nationalists, and now Bangladeshis have joined in as well.
I have the quote. I have the quote.
Right. Okay, go for it.
Yeah. So he said specifically, serious scientists who've been trying to preserve a rational educational system which deals with the reality of the world. Okay. Then he said, quote, Pakistan has no future if it's going to live in a world of religious superstition. That's what he said. This is in December 2020, just a couple of months ago. So he said it pretty straight up.
Yeah. So it did circulate a lot, and as I said, a lot of Pakistanis were unhappy with him for saying that. But all of a sudden, they just did that, 180-degree turn. It's the same like what just happened with Rihanna, right? She just showed some support for farmers in India. So all the Bhatts, the Hindu nationalists, they went after her, and Pakistanis were like, Rihanna, she's so smart, brilliant, we're with you, and all that. And one of these guys, I think, those who speak Urdu and Hindi, they should follow this guy, Syed Muzammil. He is one of the mainstream channel's young host, and he makes YouTube videos. I don't know if you've checked him out or not. He actually just as a little, he hasn't said anything openly as an atheist. Again, I'm not implying that he's an atheist, but he puts a portrait of Hitchens sometimes in the background, or sometimes it's Nietzsche, or he just puts it up there, and people notice like, oh, is he an atheist? But anyway, so he's doing wonderful work, and I forgot the point why I brought him up. But yeah, so a lot of these people, a lot of these so-called Pakistani intellectuals, they have been going after Noam Chomsky after they used to quote him. So yeah, I remember now. So he said that all these Pakistanis jumping up and down in support of Rihanna, if she had said the same thing about Balochistan, let's just say, or something about religious fundamentalism in Pakistan, all these ones will throw Rihanna under the bus too. So
well, and they did. Remember when she did the video for Dark Horse, and she burned like that Allah thing in there?
Yeah, but it didn't get picked up in Pakistan a lot.
Yeah,
I think that more so in Arabic world, because there was a Hadith playing in the background or something, so a lot of people didn't really pick it up. But yeah, it's quite remarkable how people just everyone loves blasphemy and criticism if it's for the other part.
So let's start with this, because I actually want to talk about the basis for all of this. So now what's happening is that obviously you've got all this stuff happening in India. The U.S. is really warmed up to India. They're moving their policy towards that. They're building their relationships with them. Pakistan is kind of getting, like, Pakistan got its strongest rebuke for acquitting the murderers of Danny Pearl, right? Of Daniel Pearl, like the Biden administration slammed him. It's kind of, so I want to ask you, since you follow this stuff a lot, the strategic direction of the U.S., right, under the years of Trump and now under the Biden administration, is Pakistan kind of caught between, okay, the U.S. is warming up to India, and at the same time they're going at war with China, and India's our enemy, China's our friend. I mean, how, like, this is a new thing for them, right? This is a new thing for Pakistan. How do you think that this plays out? What do you think they do here?
Well, you're spot on. That's pretty much every pundit in Pakistan is saying that, because not only just that, is U.S. has always treated Pakistan as a client state where they never really had decent investment in Pakistan, even in the Cold War era, when India opened up in the late 80s and early 90s. When so US immediately, even though it was strategically more towards, obviously historically it was an ally of Soviet Union, but immediately when India also opened up, there was no investment that came into Pakistan, FDI, that went more so in India. But still, the relationship between US and India, they weren't warming up at that point. But eventually, with obviously the rise of Pakistan being a close ally of China throughout this time, so it was just natural for Pakistan to rely more on China. And now China, there's a lot of foreign direct investment in Pakistan of China. So it's just, it's quite clear this century is going to be US versus China. Whoever's with China, it's against the United States. And India is the only other major player who is ideologically more similar to or better suited to United States. Is on paper at least, but it is a secular state by and large. It is a world's largest democracy. It's thriving. There's a free market in there. Sorry,
one of the fastest growing economies in the world.
Yeah, it has underperformed for a very long time. I mean, it's the same circumstances as China, but they just haven't been able to match that. But again, it's topped to be the second largest economy in the world by 2050, going past United States. So it's just natural for United States to go with India. So yeah, I think everyone knows that, and these are the very simple dynamics of it. The problem with China and Pakistan is, or actually more so a problem for Pakistan, as we obviously know, there's One Belt, One Road initiative. There's heavy investment in not only just Pakistan, but so many other countries as well. Pakistan is quite important with the Gwadar port, as it is, because China, through the South China Sea, it kind of does get bottlenecked there, and the U.S. Navy in the Pacific, China always sees that as a threat, and all that Indian Ocean coastline as well that can be clogged up there as well. So that it sees Gwadar as one of its own very crucial port that it can maintain in an event of a war. It can maintain that, and that's why they're strategically placed and taken over Hambantota port in Sri Lanka as well. So there's a lot of things going on, but China, obviously, it's going to be very interesting in the years to come. But Pakistan definitely has lost its importance in the eyes of the United States.
Hey guys, if you want to join these streams live, get your comments and questions read by Ali and Armin and the guests, and most importantly, to get full access to the full video versions of all these episodes, become a patron. Link in the description below.